welcome to my channel again. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and today is Stashbusting Saturday. And today I wanted to do something again a little bit different. I have shown you this before, and I'm not affiliated with this at all. This is just something I happened to fall upon, and I thought it was absolutely lovely. It's Daphne's Diary. However, since I bought it, I've done absolutely nothing with it. And it does cost quite a bit, to be fair. In the UK and in Ireland it's £10.95. In Australia it's $23 or $24, all but 1 cent. And I'm sure it's about the same sort of value potentially in America as well, if you can get it. But like I say, I've spent that money and I've done absolutely nothing with it. So today what I want to do is to go through and to just look at what I can pull out of it. So as you open it up, the first thing you're greeted with is a little page of stickers. And ironically, Scrimping Mummy's digital, which I mentioned in my last video, I think it's called Ocean Spray, her new one. Some of these stickers would work really well. You've got the shell there, there's a fish there, there's a seahorse, some with a boat there, and other little bits and pieces, lobster, little palm trees there, and they could actually potentially be utilised in that particular digital set, by way of journals or journaling cards or whatever. So I'm gonna pop those into my sticker stash, and then that way when I want them I will know where they are. Now what also came with this is this huge, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see all of this, is this huge poster. If I move it up you can get hopefully the visual of it. It's a huge poster, and honestly I really had no idea what I was going to do with it, and then inspiration hit me like lightning, as it sometimes does, and I thought what would make a beautiful journal. And again, I know I keep mentioning Scrimping Mummy, but I am part of her design team and I do love her work. I think her work is absolutely stunning. And these two ladies in their finery would work incredibly well in her Georgian romance digitals. And what I thought was, looking at sort of that section there, hopefully you can see that section there, so we're talking sort of there, down there and across there, would work as a journal topper. So I've decided I'm going to cut that out and make a journal topper out of it, and potentially do a journal out of the Georgian romance. I've got so many plans at the moment, I don't know where I'm going to find the time. And I am filming this before I find out what's going on at work, so I don't know if I'm going to have 2 extra days a week or whether or not my time is going to be completely my own yet. Yeah, loads and loads of plans as to journals and things that I want to do. But I thought that section there would make a lovely journal topper, so that's my plan for this. And then all of these little bits and pieces all around the periphery can then be used for ephemera, either in that journal or in other journals. So that's going to be my plan for this. So we'll see how that goes. I might possibly make a start on this today, I don't know yet. I'm going to see how many other ideas I have just while walking through this magazine. I'm just going to check as well that you're in full shot of it there, because I don't want you missing anything. So I'm just going to straighten the camera up just a tiny little bit. Sorry, there we go. I think that's just made things worse potentially. Yeah, it has. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to walk through this and we're going to look at what I can do. There is an absolutely ideal, there's nothing really on the front that I'd be worried about losing. That would make a lovely tag, absolutely beautiful tag there. So that's something that I want to do. And there's loads and loads of pages of goodness in here. One thing I have noticed with these Daphne's diaries, you get a lot of borders, and these you can rip out and just use as washi tape, which would make beautiful washi tape. I mean, that's gorgeous, absolutely lovely. Really like that. So I'm going to cut that out and utilise that, put it into my washi tape stash. And then I was looking at this. This is a Wheel of Time. I think I'm going to pull this out now. And this is actually just effectively a perpetual calendar. So it needs cutting out round there. And then you've got the centerpieces here. The only thing I'm a little bit sad about with this is it doesn't have a numbers section. So that would have been nice. So I'm going to put that together shortly. And again, all the bits that you don't use, these bits here can all be used in other journaling bits. And this piece here at the bottom and this piece here at the top can all be used as other journaling bits. So nothing will go to waste. So I can feel another No Waste Wednesday coming on. Again, this section here can be utilised as well. These bits here, I know they're only background pieces. Just make sure you can see that. Look how colourful that is. That is just lovely, isn't it? And yeah, let me show you how I would cut this to utilise the most of the page. So you've got that. Let me bring in my trimmer. So I think the first thing I would do is potentially, let me just trim up that edge. That's very tatty now. So I'm going to trim that edge up. Okay, that in itself can be used by way of the clusters that I did in a couple of videos ago. So I'm going to put that in my strip boxes. Where are they? Not sure. Okay, let me just put that up there for now. I'll find those momentarily. I usually have them next to me when I'm working. And then this bit here, I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that way. So let me have a look what's down there. Yeah. So I'm going to cut that way. And then I'm going to cut this piece here. Make sure I'm in view for you. I'm going to cut this piece here. Okay, that gives me that there, which is beautiful. That can be used for collaging. You can use it on a tag to give you a little bit of background on a tag. You can use that for all sorts of things. And then I'm going to cut this piece off here, if I can get it lined up. So that piece is going to come off there. And there you've got a piece of washi tape. That can be used just as edging as well, to pop it into where you want some wording of some kind, but you don't want to actually be able to read it. And then this piece, I'd like to cut that there. And I'm going to cut that piece there. And there's another beautiful piece there that can be used in collaging or in tags behind something. And then we've got another little bit here, which I'm just going to trim up. And then that piece there as well is beautiful for collaging, absolutely perfect for collaging. And then we've got this lovely big long strip here. There's another washi tape piece that you can utilise. And then this piece here will make another slightly wider washi tape piece. And then we've got this big strip down the middle. So I'm going to take that off there. And I'm going to take this off here. And there's another beautiful piece of washi tape there. And then we've got this little bit in the middle here. Take that off and take this off. And you've got another beautiful little piece there for collaging. Or I just had a thought, that's why I went a little bit silent there. You could edge that with some pinking shears or something, put a little picture in the middle there, and that would make a lovely little faux stamp with the background. That's a nice idea for that. And that is how I would utilise that particular page. So that's one page. I've just got some collaging pieces, a piece of faux stamp, some washi tape out of it, and probably a few other bits and pieces that I haven't yet thought about. So yeah, and that's just one page out of here. So when people say that, you know, they struggle to fund a hobby like crafting of any kind, when you think that I've got some washi tape there, washi tapes you can pick up relatively cheaply, although some are very expensive. Look in magazines, because in any magazines you will find designs that when they're cut down you would have no idea what they were originally, and they can be used as washi tape. So you don't have to spend money to go out and buy washi tape if you like using it. You can make your own. All you need to do is glue it and stick it on the same as you would do as if it was washi tape. But it's so versatile. There are so many things that you can make use of to do this. The other thing with this as well is, you probably saw me, or if you didn't, pop along and have a look at it, my clusters video that I did the other day. These would make lovely clusters as well. When you start pinning them to other pieces like this, you know, they make beautiful clusters. So you don't, you know, you don't need a huge piece of, or a huge picture or a huge piece of cardstock to make a design. You can utilize things that you've got and make your own up. So yeah, lots of ideas there. Again, you know, you've got things like this in here. Now that sort of thing would be lovely in a recipe keeper journal. And this little spoon here can be cut out as ephemera. You've got these little bits here that could be cut out as ephemera. You've got a little garlic bulb there. So all of these little things can all be cut out for ephemera. If you're doing a recipe journal, that you can make recipe cards out of the recipes and pop those in as well. You could cut that whole piece out there. If I just show you there, look, if you gave that a little bit of a border there and then cut it there, that would make a lovely little journaling card, sort of from there, just to give you a visual of it, from there to there. That would make a lovely little journaling card for a recipe keeper journal. So again, just another little idea as to what you can do with what you find in magazines. I know this one is specifically aimed at the crafter, or the doer, but you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a craft magazine that you're looking at. You can pull things from all sorts of things. You've got these here, which would make beautiful little, actually that would they fit on there? Not quite, okay, but they're about the same size as that. So again, you could make some little faux stamps out of those if you wanted to. That's a beautiful little idea there, love those. And then you've got a little poem there. You could cut that out and use that as a journal. And here, now I don't know if you can see this because this is actually quite light, but I was looking at this and on here you've got two pictures. This is a spot the difference thing, which is irrelevant. But what you've got is you've got a border around here which is fluted. You could cut that right down the middle. You could flute this edge as well if you wanted to, or you could cut it straight. You could just cut the fluted piece off if you're not that way inclined. But then these pictures here, you could replace them with a picture of your own choosing, and those then would make a lovely tuck in a journal. You could make pockets out of them. You could do whatever you wanted to with them. So that's another idea, that you can cut this out and utilize it. The wording that you've got here, you can either paint that out, you can put a label over the top of it. It doesn't necessarily need to be wasted, because actually you've got something on there that you don't really want on there. And then these borders, again, there's more washi tape there. There is so much washi tape in this book that you can utilize it. Yeah, you'd have a field day and you'd be hard pressed to run out of washi tape once you've finished cutting up a magazine of this type. Then on here, that's quite a nice idea. Maybe not names that you've got in your family, but again, you could stick labels over those and still utilize that. Cut the whole thing out, utilize it as another journal card. And like I say, just put either name tags of people that you do know, or you could put just labels of some description over those to cover up those names. And then more washi tape. More ideas as to what you can do yourself, making your own flowers. You can, it shows you how to make your own flowers, but you could use those as journal toppers once you've made them. You've got lots of blank spacing here, which you can cut out and use for collaging. Lots of little bits and pieces in here. Lovely little picture there of the cherry blossom, I think that is. Another little bits and pieces that you could make use of. You've got wording there that you could make use of. And here, this is lovely. I'm going to pull this out as well. These are little birds, and if you're doing either a nature journal or a bird journal, it's all perforated, so you can get these out really easily. And then if you turn it over, it's actually double-sided, so when you cut them out, you've got a double-sided little thing there, which is just lovely, really cute. So that's rather nice. And you could probably make some little mini hidden paper clips with them as well, because I have noticed some of them, like this one and this one, they're actually the same. So you could actually use both of those and do yourself some little mini hidden paper clips, which are lovely. So that's a nice use of those. In fact, I think I might make myself some of those. So I'm going to take those out and make some of those up. And again, the picture, just the photograph, oh my goodness, can't get my words out. The photography in here is just lovely. So many different things that you would be able to make use of. I mean, that's a lovely picture for a journal. And some hats. They would make nice little fussy cuts. I can't think for the moment what sort of journal they would go in. Maybe a young girl's journal, perhaps. Although I'm not sure they're young girls' hats, to be fair. But although that's quite in keeping, isn't it? So that could be used for a young girl's journal, perhaps. And again, you've got this type of thing where you've got the frames, but you can put different pictures inside the frames. You don't necessarily have to use those frames. Oh, no, sorry, you don't necessarily have to use those pictures, not the frames. Sorry. And then, again, more borders to make use of your washi tape. These are lovely. These are actually postcards. I'm going to take these out and make use of these as well. And again, they're double-sided, look. So you can just cut these out. They're already printed on the reverse side, so they're literally, you're able to use these straight away in a journal, which I think is nice. Let me show you these cut out. So these, and the bits that you don't use, can you guess what I'm going to say? Oh my goodness, look, more washi tape, and it's double-sided as well. So yeah, you really are open to whatever your creative mind can make use of things. Don't limit yourself to what you can buy in shops. Okay, there's that piece there as well. Getting lots of washi tape out of this one. I'm going with the longer strips because the longer strips can sometimes be a lot more versatile than the shorter strips, although having said that, sometimes you do need a shorter strip. That's that one. And now I'm just going to cut this final piece off here. That's that one. And then what you've got, there we go, you've got 2 postcards here, absolutely stunning, that you can just pop into your journals as journaling spaces, little journal cards. And round the edges, you can distress the edges, you can edge them with a little bit of lace, whatever you want to do with them. You could even edge them with some of your washi tape if you wanted to. So you could, you know, pop some of your washi tape on and make a border out of that. However you wanted to do that. Just thinking that would actually, you could make a nice frame out of those, couldn't you? That would make a nice frame. That's a nice idea. So you've got some little postcards there. So there's those 2, and then you've got these 2 as well. I won't bore you to death and cut these out as well, but those are going to be going into my stash as well. And again, all double-sided. Yeah, so you can utilize those. Loads more washi tape there. That's a beautiful design, isn't it? I think if I really push hard, I might be able to, oops, to make that even wider. If I can just split that. What I'm trying to do here is to split the, oh gosh, what is that thing called? The border. Spine, that's the word I was looking for. I'm trying to split the spine so that when I pull these out, I've got wider pieces to work with rather than tearing them off. And that will actually work really well. There we go, that's getting there now. Let me push that down. There we go. So now when I pull those out, I'll have a lot less to trim up, and I've got some nice wide washi tape there that I can make use of. So that's perfect. Love that. Oh, quite gave myself a workout doing that. And then these, again, lovely decorations here. Lovely flowers that can be fussy cutted out. And again, don't forget your borders. You can utilise your borders either as collages or backgrounds for things. More fussy cutting here. More bits that you can use for collaging. Lovely little border there that can be used. Yeah, you could use that as washi tape. It's a bit big too, although I suppose, let me just show you an idea. Let me pull that out if I can. Out. So, nobbled all the edge in there, never mind. But what you can do is you could fold it over stick something in there and actually use that as a journal page itself. You could back it with your own paper and then put designs in there and actually utilize that as a journal page. But I have just ripped that edging there, but I could still save that by doing something with that. Maybe a bit of washi tape over the top of it, that would work. There we go. Lovely whale there that could be used. And then these, I'm not going to tear these out yet, but these are little houses that you can cut out and make yourself. And it's got little ephemera bits there that you can use to decorate them up with. Quite cute, aren't they? Just as a little extra craft thing. These would be great for the grandchildren to help with, wouldn't they? There we go. Little greenhouse that is, isn't it? Lovely. That's really nice. And then this piece here at the top, again, you've got that as a background for, that's almost white. In fact, that is wide enough to be able to use that for tags. And then you've got these little cards here, which are backed, which are very nice. They could be used just to slot into journals. Those are lovely, just as little extras. And you've got your butterflies that you can fussy cut out, and they're double-sided. So you've got double-sided butterflies there. You've got little journaling cards here and labels, which are backed, which are beautiful as well. So you could either use that as the design paper, or you can use your labels. I think I'd prefer the labels actually. I think they're lovely. And then what else have we got? All of this. These are lovely. Cut them out, use them for collaging, or you know, whatever you want to do with them. You've got a little bit of washi tape in border there. More washi tape borders. So much washi tape. More washi tape. Little flowers that you could cut out and use just to highlight and decorate things. These were a couple of recipe cards that I used in my recipe card journal. Not recipe card journal, recipe keeper journal. And then these edgings here, again, more washi tape that you can utilise. And that's actually double-sided. I do like that green. I think that's very pretty. And then you've got a little birdie house there to push out. Not quite sure what that is, if I'm honest. I'll have to take a look at that. And you've got Mr. Cat there. You can cut him and use him. You've got another little 3D printout there for houses. Lots and lots and lots. Got beautiful background there that you can use for collaging. That's quite an interesting little design there that you could use as a journal card or a pot. Actually, that would make a nice pocket. Oh, now then, Amanda did a challenge where I'm pretty sure it was Amanda, where you had to use higgledy-piggledy houses. How perfect would that be for that? I'll have to go back and try and find that on her Facebook page and see what I can find, because that would be brilliant for that particular challenge. I'm pretty sure it was Amanda. Those are lovely. They could be used in the Ocean Sea Spray journal perhaps. Not sure if the colouring's right, but a nice idea. That's lovely. That could be used on a journal topper perhaps, or even a journal card, or a pocket, side tuck. You could cut that out and use whatever you wanted to with that. Lovely butterflies there, butterfly design there. pretty little flowers there. More interesting washi tapes there. I think, yeah, I think they are potatoes, sweet potatoes. Interesting. So recipe keeper journal again, that could be used in. Lovely little birdhouse. And then we've got journal paper and envelopes. How fab are they? Oh look, they're backed as well. They're gorgeous. Do you know, I'd forgotten, it's been a while since I've looked through this, and I'd forgotten how much beautiful stuff there is in here. I think I need to start using up some of my stash. So that's it. And that, look at that, how beautiful that is. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? And again, you know, I know the Daphne's Inspires You is there, but that could be covered over with something. You don't necessarily have to leave that on there, and then you could utilize that whole design perhaps. So lots and lots to play with here. So I think what I'd like to do, just while I've got a few minutes, I am going to see if I can get this out without making a hash of it again. Is that double-sided? It is double-sided. Fabulous. Let's take that out. Now then, I'm going to try and cut this first with my trimmer. Not sure that I'm going to... Maybe a trimmer's not such a good idea. Maybe I'll go down that way first. I'll go down that way first because then I've got that beautiful piece there that could be utilised for something. So I'm going to pop that with my cut-offs. I'm going to use this section here as well. That's another beautiful piece there. Odd shape, but we can work with that. That's no pandemonium with that. And then I'm going to cut that one off there. And cut that one off there. And then that just gives me these few little pieces to trim up with some scissors, which I will do now. Let's just get that one out of the way. I'm looking for my glasses and they're sat on the top of my head. So I found them. So we're good to go. I'm just going to cut this out. And I do go quiet when I'm cutting out. My multitasking skills are hopeless. There we go. Okay. And just trim around there. And if you're very new to crafting and you've not put these templates together before, I'll just glue it together for you to show you how to do them as well. I have put on my Christmas list, if any of my family are watching, I would like an envelope maker board, one of the memory keeper ones. Those are really good and are very useful. You can make your own envelopes. They are relatively easy to use, but if you like these fancier type ones, the envelope boards do make life a lot easier, I have to say. Okay, and now what we're going to do, I don't know which way around to do this. That's so beautiful, isn't it? I don't want to cover either side up, to be honest with you. Oh well. You are better sometimes scoring your lines, but I'm not going to lie, my scoring techniques sometimes leave a lot to be desired, and I never end up scoring things in quite the right place, and they always tend to be a little bit off. So I'm just going by eye and very carefully just going along where it's showing me to fold. So I didn't actually show you along there. There are little dotted lines to show you where to do your folds. So it's quite simple. And if there aren't any dotted lines at any time, you literally do your folds where these corners meet. So lengthwise and sidewise, just do your folds where the corners meet. There we go. That a little bit of a burnish, and then the final one, there we go, a little bit of a burnish there, and that comes up like that, and there's your little envelope. How perfect is that? That's just gorgeous, isn't it? And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on and just pop that into place. So I'm going to glue along that section there and along that section there. Oops, that's a bit watery. We don't want that much on there, do we? Let me just shake my glue up because that's all a bit unnecessary. I don't know why that's separated out like that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the edge of this one here. Oh, it's done the same. On the edge of that one there. Let me just take that big blob off there. And along the edge of this one here. There we go. And now I'm going to just lay those down gently. Just dab off the excess glue. And there we are. There's your envelope. So that's that one done. And then what we can do, I think this one goes with this. So we're going to just pop that out. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. I'm going to trim this one out. So that one goes across there. And this one goes across here. And then down here. That's that one. That's a spare one. And a little bit of tape there. And that's that piece there. Okay. So there's my little bit of paper. Let me just pop my top on my glue. And then that just folds up and goes inside your envelope. And that can be used. There we go. That's all ready to use now as a tuck-in for a journal. How beautiful is that? So there we go. So I think that will do for today, guys. I hope you've liked the little walkthrough. Like I say, there is so much you can do with these books, and it's not just the Daphne's Diary I'm talking about. You know, any magazines, if you have a look through and just look to see what you can utilise, that will reduce your need to go and spend money, because you don't have to spend a fortune to craft at the end of the day. So I hope you like that. and I will look forward to seeing you all again next Wednesday. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you on board. Thank you so much for your time today. Bye.